The closer the danger, the deeper the silence. And the silence is deep indeed. The hunters do not rush. They do not need to. Time is always on their side. A wrong turn, a slow step, a moment's doubt, and it is over. A passing breeze can lift the dust and turn it into a ribbon of gold. Across the open plains, a single moving figure can dominate the entire view. Morning reveals the difference between living movement and the stillness of the land. Birds crossing the horizon become dark marks against the growing light. The sky opens above the plains as the final stars disappear. Night fades from the horizon upward until only daylight remains. The first sunlit clouds often appear before anything on the ground is fully illuminated. Colour gathers above the horizon, then spreads gradually across the rest of the sky. The savannah receives the morning in layers of light, temperature and sound. Cool shadows preserve the final atmosphere of night for a few more moments. The stillness of dawn makes every movement easier to notice. At first light, movement appears as shape before detail. The rising sun slowly replaces silhouettes with colour. With every minute, the boundary between darkness and daylight becomes less distinct. visibility decreases as the horizon disappears behind suspended Earth. Leaves become coated with dust that can reduce the light reaching their surfaces. Dust can carry minerals from one part of the landscape to another. Even harsh weather can redistribute valuable material. The sky becomes part of the soil through this constant exchange. Dry winds remove moisture from leaves and exposed ground. Their effects may continue long after the air becomes calm. Plants respond by slowing growth and protecting vulnerable tissues. Hot wind can be more stressful than heat alone. It increases evaporation from both soil and vegetation. A passing shadow may lower surface temperatures across a wide area. These short changes can offer temporary relief during extreme heat. Long-term survival is built from responses to countless short events. A cool morning, a cloudy afternoon, or a brief shower can all influence growth. The landscape is shaped by both dramatic storms and ordinary days. Cloud cover can briefly reduce this pressure. Most environmental change happens without a single defining moment. Small advantages accumulate over an entire season. The savannah is transformed gradually through repetition. Weather is experienced by plants minute by minute. Rainy season after rainy season, new opportunities appear. Later, rain may wash the particles away. Sunrise after sunrise, roots deepen and branches extend. Dry season after dry season, weak growth is removed. Time acts as one of the strongest forces in the landscape. Burned ground may look empty before fresh green shoots begin to emerge. The contrast between dark soil and new grass reveals the resilience of the plains. Fire does not affect every section equally, leaving a mosaic of burned and unburned land. These different stages of recovery provide varied conditions across the savannah. The landscape is strongest when it contains many patches at different stages of growth. Variety allows the ecosystem to respond more effectively to unpredictable weather. Below the visible grass lies a complex network of roots and living soil. This hidden layer stores nutrients and supports recovery after drought or fire. The health of the plains depends as much on underground life as on the vegetation above. They also help the grasslands capture moisture before it runs away. Root systems hold the earth together during wind and heavy rain. Insects, fungi, and microorganisms work constantly within the soil. Over time, this slow recycling sustains the productivity of the plains. New growth replaces old stems, while wind and rain reshape the ground. From above, these marks create patterns across the open land. These trails create visible lines through the otherwise continuous vegetation. The plains preserve only temporary evidence of each passing journey. Dust, tracks, and flattened grass reveal movement long after the animals are gone. Every season leaves organic matter that becomes part of the land. Some paths remain for years, while others disappear after the rains. The grasslands may appear timeless, but they are always being rebuilt. Paths appear where animals repeatedly travel across the same route. Their activity returns old plant material to the cycle of growth. To live as a hunter is to accept a hard life, and to live it fully. They are power and patience, hunger and grace, all in a single form. Nothing on the plain is quite so feared, or quite so necessary. They are the wild's own instrument, tuned across countless ages. They are the fierce heart of the plain, without which nothing would hold. They are the wild's answer to the endless question of survival. The hunters endure at the edge of everything, patient and unbroken. To be a hunter is to belong wholly to the wild and to ask for nothing more. They are the fierce, the watchful, and the enduring, as they have always been. The hunters carry the ancient balance on their shoulders and never set it down. There is no softness in their world, and they have made their peace with it. The hunters ask nothing, forgive nothing, and endure everything. They are the fierce guardians of a balance older than thought. They are the plain's oldest predators and its most faithful. They are the keepers of the hunt, and the hunt is the keeper of them. The hunters carry the weight of the wild, and carry it without complaint. To watch them is to see survival stripped of all its comfort. There is a hard honesty in their lives that nothing can soften. They live by a code older than any we could write. They are the plain's oldest strength and its most misunderstood. They are the hard truth of the plain, made beautiful. The hunters live and die by the oldest law there is. Against the vastness of the plain, the herd seems small and infinitely patient. They are beauty without effort, grace without display. They dot the open grassland, a scattering of quiet life beneath a boundless sky. They and their neighbors watch out for one another, without ever meaning to. The plain gathers many kinds together, and they feed side by side. They move among the other grazers, one thread in the great weave of the plain. They graze among strangers, all of them bound by the same quiet needs. They belong to the plain so completely that they seem a part of it. There is a simple beauty in them, in the way they move and feed and wait. Small against the wide horizon, they carry on as they always have. They move across the vast plain like slow shadows, calm and unhurried. There is grace in their simplicity and beauty in their patient endurance. They are the gentle life that fills the vastness and gives it meaning. They are a gentle presence upon the land, asking little, giving much. They scatter across the grass, at home in a world that dwarfs them. To watch them is to feel the quiet, steady heartbeat of the plain. They share the open ground with all who need it in easy, wary peace. They move through the vastness with an ease that speaks of belonging. They are small and countless, and together they fill the plain with life. There is a quiet dignity in them, in their patience and their calm. They cross the open land, unhurried, as though time itself belonged to them. They belong here, in the open, beneath the wide and watching sky. As the water recedes, the distance between survival and hardship grows smaller. Many animals remember the location of reliable water from one season to the next. Old paths often lead toward places where water has returned again and again. Waterholes connect generations through routes repeated across the savannah. Some animals approach openly, while others wait until the surroundings feel safer. Thirst can bring together creatures that would normally avoid one another. A quiet shoreline may become crowded within only a few minutes. At the water's edge, patience often prevents conflict. Every visitor must balance the need to drink with the need to remain cautious. Changing water levels constantly redraw the shape of the shoreline. Open water offers relief from heat, but it can also leave animals exposed. Reeds, shadows and uneven banks can make the approach difficult to read. A familiar water source may look completely different after rain or drought. Temporary streams can appear suddenly after a storm and disappear just as quickly. Water follows the contours of the savannah, collecting wherever the ground allows it. Shallow basins can become vital refuges after seasonal rain. During the dry season, even a shrinking pool can support an extraordinary amount of activity. Even a thin layer of water can transform the soil and vegetation around it. Small channels carry rainwater toward the lowest parts of the land. Fresh mud forms where dry earth once cracked beneath the sun. Trees and grasses near water remain productive longer than those on exposed ground. These narrow green margins can support life through the most demanding months. Green growth often reveals moisture before the water itself can be seen. Healthy legs support every search for food, water and safety. Natural caution helps reduce unnecessary risk. Protecting them is essential, even if the animal cannot consciously plan to do so. Slow movement often reflects intelligence rather than weakness. The largest creatures have little reason to hurry without cause. A confident stand may be enough to change the outcome. A measured pace allows them to watch, listen, and conserve energy. The most vulnerable moments often occur at the edges of the group. Speed is reserved for moments when it truly matters. When alarm spreads, calm bodies can transform in an instant. Muscle, weight, and momentum suddenly become visible. The same animal that appeared peaceful can become formidable under pressure. Defense begins with awareness, but may end in a direct show of force. Large herbivores often rely on intimidation before physical contact. Size, posture, and forward movement can discourage an attacker. Predators also calculate risk, and a healthy adult may be too dangerous to challenge. Maintaining position within the herd can therefore be critical. They observe how adults arrange themselves during travel and rest. Individuals that become isolated lose the protection of shared awareness. young animals gradually learn where safety is greatest. The choice of location reflects protection, access, and the needs of the young. Above the nest, the sky remains both a route and a source of danger. Adults must travel repeatedly while keeping track of changing conditions. Young birds begin life grounded before they learn to use the air. Learning to fly requires strength, coordination, and repeated attempts. Their first flights mark a major transition from dependence to greater freedom. The open savannah offers space, but little protection from mistakes. Each successful flight expands the young bird's world. Over time, instinct and experience combine into confident movement. Migration extends that movement far beyond the local plains. Some birds visit the savannah only during particular seasons. Their arrival may coincide with rainfall, food, or changing temperatures. Seasonal visitors connect Africa's skies to distant regions of the world. A healthy sky begins with a healthy ecosystem on the ground. Other birds remain throughout the year and adapt to local seasonal change. Their journeys cross borders, habitats, and entire continents. The savannah becomes one stage in a much larger cycle of movement. Both residents and migrants depend on the condition of the landscape below. They endure dry months, storms, and shifts in food availability. Leaves, grass, and insects create a changing background of sound. Cooler air settles into low places and spreads across the grassland. The temperature difference between open ground and shelter becomes more noticeable. The same terrain takes on new meaning under reduced light. Animals begin to choose routes and resting places according to the changing conditions. Open ground may feel safer to some creatures and more dangerous to others. Others begin searching for safer ground before complete darkness. Others separate and move into areas that offer concealment. The landscape shifts from the routines of daylight to the strategies of night. Some animals gather closer together as the horizon darkens. The evening wind carries scents farther across the open plain. With less heat rising from the ground, the atmosphere becomes more stable. Evening brings relief after hours of exposure to the sun. For some species, sunset is the most comfortable time to travel. The fading light creates urgency for those that depend on clear vision. The last visible landmarks help guide movement across the plains. Once darkness arrives, familiar routes may become more difficult to follow. Sunset, therefore, becomes a period of preparation as well as beauty. The reduced heat allows movement to continue with less strain. The beauty of this land lies not in stillness, but in constant change. Every path across the grasslands leads into a larger cycle of life. The rhythm of the savannah continues through rain, drought, birth, and loss. The savannah remains harsh, generous, and unpredictable in equal measure. The creatures of the plains survive because they have learned to move with the land, not against it. Even the quietest scene carries the weight of an ancient struggle. Here, strength is measured not only by power, but by endurance. Life on the savannah is built from countless decisions made beneath an open sky. The plains remember every migration, every storm, and every season of hardship. In this vast wilderness, no moment is entirely ordinary. Each season leaves its mark, and every generation learns from the one before.